Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Hootie London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders that took place on the 13th of November 2022. May justice be correctly served and may the 4 precious victims rest in peace. KAYLEE, MADDIE and John Showalter were walking from the corner club to the grub truck. We remember KAYLEE saying to MADDIE in a very stressed voice, she said, "MADDIE, what did you tell Adam?" And MADDIE said, "I told Adam like everything." I wonder what was said to Adam. What part does Adam play in this quadruple murders? I'm not accusing him of anything, but it seemed to have been important for the girls. We know that Adam and Jagdee share a flat, apartment, 2 minutes, a minute away from the girls' house. Adam, Jagdee, John Showalter, KAYLEE, MADDIE were all present in the corner club. So was Joe Vito and many of the people we saw in the grub truck. I believe whatever was said to Adam had to be extremely important for KAYLEE to have mentioned it. Although KAYLEE's parents do not believe it was important, they believe it was just an innocent thing. We will never know the facts unless the court decides to release it to the public. I'm just speculating here. I've always said that I believe that all the 4 victims were the targets, possibly the resident too. The reason I say that is I personally believe that there is more into the 4chan post. The 4chan post, although it was anonymous, it was definitely somebody from the Sigma Chi who released that, because he seemed to know about issues between Ethan XANA, David Lodge Berry, allegedly. And I believe that the 4chan article has the most motives, targets. They mentioned 3 targets: MADDIE, XANA, and Ethan. But I believe that there were 2 separate incidents, 2 separate attacks. I don't believe that all the 4 students were targeted by one group only. I believe there were 2 separate groups. Because if we think about Ethan and XANA, they were at the Sigma Chi party. BF, one of the surviving roommates, was there too. She has exculpatory evidence that Ann Taylor and BK want to know about. We know that BF and DM were texting each other at the times of the murders, and we definitely know that DM opened the door and told the roommates to keep her down. She's trying to sleep. She heard noises upstairs, and we don't know who it was. But if you look at the 4chan, it explains that it was the Sigma Chi boys, allegedly. The reason I believe that is because the 4 figures that were running or jogging or walking fast couldn't just be a coincidence. I do understand that many of the students walk around, but what are the possibilities that in the time of the murders students were actually jogging. It wasn't daytime that you go for a Sunday jog or evening jog. These are students. The direction they were jogging from, the Banfield alcohol body cam video tells a lot too. You can see one guy with a glove on. That was what the 4chan explained. But let me come back to this picture here. I believe MADDIE and KAYLEE had separate targets. They were targeted by separate people. I personally believe, this is all for entertainment purpose, that JS and JD could have been part of the plan. I do not want to say anything bad about the victims, because this is what it's all about. Getting truth and transparency for the victims. There was a lot of people talking about if drugs could have allegedly been involved. I do believe that money was involved. Money obviously would be from drugs. It could be from different kind of things. So I wonder if KAYLEE and MADDIE were storing some things, had money or items stored for Jack D, allegedly, or Jack S, or for other people. I believe whatever was sold to Adam could have had something to do with it. Somebody in my comment channel left me a comment which I found very interesting. She was just speculating. But she said, could Jack D have given KAYLEE some money to keep, and maybe KAYLEE used the money for something else, like a car? It's possible that she's paying down payments on a car. But it could have been possible that that money belonged to someone, and maybe the girls was fed up of keeping the money even, and someone was scared that they would tell. So did someone came that night to take revenge, or to keep them quiet, to silence them for whatever reason? It could be possible. It's just a theory, just a speculation. But I believe whoever came and ruthlessly hurt these 4 victims are separate people. We know that KAYLEE got the most injuries according to her parents, and I do believe that. The parents have no reason to lie. Steve Congavs has said it many times, this is my daughter. I paid for the funeral, so I deserve to know the truth. He got the statements, definitely, from the corner. The people who were at the grab shop looked to be all plotting against KAYLEE and MADDIE. Not all of them, but most of them, I believe. So I believe whoever targeted the girls were around the corner club, the grub truck, and maybe waited for them to reach home. MADDIE's coat was lying behind the bushes, allegedly. We saw the police officers checking it and throwing it back in the bushes. Could it be possible that somebody tried to drag the girls and drag them home, and the jacket was thrown there? We could even see the 3 boys in the body cam video, when they were standing near the police officer's car, they were trying to keep on they were looking towards where the coat was. That's just a speculation. People see different things and people see it in different ways. But that's just what I believe. So I've always said I believe there were two separate targets, because even the injuries are not the same. Eaton, may God bless his soul, was hit with a sharp object. And I've always said, why is Eaton's golf set and his two vehicles under? Why are they frozen yet? Because they're evidence. The other students' vehicles and items have been released, but not Eaton's. So I believe it's two separate attacks. I believe all four victims were unfortunately the targets.
To show KAYLEE Gonzalez and Madison Mogen walking and talking on a sidewalk. The two young women seem to be wearing the same clothes they had on when we saw them in surveillance video from a food truck earlier that night. Senior national correspondent Brian Enton explains how this new video surfaced.
We know that police have had this surveillance video, this new video, since right after the murders, but it is just now becoming public for the first time. And it is not just video, there is also audio. Surveillance video newly obtained by News Nation shows what appears to be KAYLEE Gonzalez and her best friend MADDIE Mogen walking in downtown Moscow, Idaho, just hours before they were murdered. You can hear their voices in the video. For the first time, we are hearing the name Adam. The attorney representing the Gonzalez family says they believe Adam is a bartender and that he is not a suspect at this time. The Moscow Police Department not commenting specifically on the video, but in a statement to News Nation said, any digital content submitted as tips and leads becomes part of the investigation. We review and investigate submissions. Findings become part of the information we do not make public to maintain the integrity of the investigation. Meanwhile, the Gonzalez family is questioning whether the investigation is being handled properly by Moscow police, especially within the first 48 hours after the murders. Their attorney spoke to News Nation's Chris Cuomo.
From the get-go, we still get more and more information every day about mishaps or missteps that I think the investigation has made. One of the questions we asked when we went in was, why not, within the first 24 to 48 hours, release some information about, we're looking for someone that may have missed work, that may have come in with, injuries to their forearms or their hands, things like that. It's a small community. People that have taken a vacation immediately, things like that normal things that may be abnormal to people that live in the community, and getting that out. And they said they didn't do it because of investigative reasons.
Police continue to focus on the white Hyundai Elantra they believe was in the area of the house near the murders and are asking for tips related to the car. Detectives insist the investigation is not slowing down. With the holidays coming up, how does that impact the investigation? Because I know there's still dozens of FBI agents assisting and state police. Does that wind down at all?
It doesn't wind down, but we realize that people need a little time, need a little rest. We want them sharp and ready and, get some relief so they can come back and not miss anything, stay really focused. So the intensity and the pace will remain the same, but at the same time, just giving people some turns to get out with their families, get a little bit of mental break so they stay sharp.
Police insist that the pace of the investigation will remain the same, but there's really been no significant updates or developments, still no suspect or persons of interest. Despite that, though, investigators insist that this is not a cold case.
Where was XANA and Eaton?